Welcome back to Blue Moon Bay Speedway. It's time for the Gran Turismo Online Weekly Series, the Carpi Weekly Series brought to you by Carpies, decals, wraps, t-shirts, and more. I'm joined here in the booth by Rashad Mets. As always, Rashad Mets, how you doing?
I'm doing really good today, Miles. I'm super excited to see what kind of show these guys are going to put on today.
We got a really nice field here of 8 cars. We're almost to the halfway point of the season already. 4 races in. Next week's race will be our 5th race, which will be the halfway point. It's going to be wild. How do you think it's going to go today? We got 2 more cars than normally, but how do you think it's going to be more chaotic than normal, or how do you think these drivers are going to race?
I don't know how these drivers are going to race, but each and every weekend has been an exciting race. But what you didn't talk about was the 3-way tie for the points lead right now. So it's a lot on the line. A lot of GRT Sissy isn't present this race, so it's going to really shake up the points some more. But I feel like these drivers are getting hungrier and hungrier with each and every race. I feel like they're learning how to race this track, learn how to be aggressive, and I feel like it's really going to show this race.
And we got a lot of faces that we used to see a lot of part-time drivers showing up today, and a new rookie joining us here. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see these new drivers and old drivers that don't race as much and see how they kind of feel their way through this pack. Alrighty, Rashad, you ready to get down to the Mets paint grid walk?
Indeed I am.
Alright, you care to kick us off?
Rolling in the grid in first place on pole position, we have Miles Johnson in that 06 GTO Touring Series, GTO Gran Turismo Online Series Mustang today. Getting a good run, usually our oval ringer, guy that usually dominates on oval, so I expect to see him in the front this race. I expect to see him get a good result this race. He is one of those guys that usually he can push really well, and if he plays his cards right today, I can see him up front and possibly winning this race again.
And rolling off P2 is Rashad Mets in the number 24 car. Rashad Mets is the man to beat week in, week out on road courses, but he has yet to pick up a win this season in the weekly series here at Blue Moon Bay. That 24 car is always one to watch, but maybe he'll be able to break into victory lane and grab his first win of the season today.
Rolling off P3, we have the new rookie of Nick here and driving that 88 mellow yellow Dodge Viper. Usually don't see these on track often, so kind of stumbling. But yeah, see, he's trying to make a name for himself so far in the league. He's going to be, I think, one of our full-time drivers, a new full-time driver. So right now he's one of those guys that picked up our call, and he says he can hang in with the best of the best. So we're going to really put his skills up to the test, and he's coming to make a name for himself.
Rolling off P4 is Peganex. Peganex is one of my favorite underdog drivers. He has yet to pick up his first career victory yet, but he's so good at leading these races. He led majority of the race last week, but ended up pushing Miles Johnson in for the win. So will Peganex try to make his own moves toward the end to get that Reese's to victory lane for the first time?
Rolling off next, we have the number 99 of Javen Tucker in the Antians McLaren. Usually a guy you always see up front in these races, typically knows how to take control of the field, really dominating these races, but his luck is just not always on his side when he can't get it done at the end of the races, but maybe today his luck will change.
And rolling off right behind him is the carbon fiber car of Jalen Bird. Jalen Bird has been on and off in the series. He's been decently fast here at the ovals. He was one of our original drivers that raced during the first season at Northern Isle and ended up picking a second place points finish. So look for him to be running toward the front. He's still kind of new to driving this car. I know this is a new car to him. So just look for him to be learning the track and getting the feel for this car here today.
Rolling off next, we have the Dodge Viper of Michael Shoemaker out here with the UPS Sports Dodge Viper. Usually he's known one of our part-time drivers, usually makes his starts on the oval races that we have in the weekly series, but I really feel like he might be able to, his luck might change. He's been making some really strong, getting some strong results and strong finishes in the races that he has competed here, so I really feel like he is another driver that we need to keep our eyes on this race.
And rolling off P last is Trevor Lavonne. Trevor Lavonne is normally very scared of ovals, but he's overcome his fears to come racing here today at the Blue Moon Bay Speedway. So we're very glad to see him back. He's really fast on almost every track, and he is one of the drivers that's competing for the points lead right now in the GTO or Touring Series against Rashad Mets. So he's a really fast road racer, but let's see how he can do here on the 3-turn oval of Blue Moon Bay. And that's it for your Mets painting grid walk. And let's waste no time. Let's get down to get this thing starting. This is going to be a great one. 25 laps, as always, here in the weekly series. It's going to be a fun one, as always. A lot of bump drafting, pushing, shoving, pack racing. It's going to be a fun one to watch, so you don't want to miss a thing. And they're off. The lights are out. Race 4, the GTO Weekly Series is underway. Oh, we got a spin already. Wall. Who is that? I believe Javen Tucker. I can't get a good camera angle on it here. We're already under caution. Let's see what happened here. Looks like he
got a better start than Nick and got kind of bottled up there, and Chewbacca just got into the back of him.
Let's see if we can get a little slow-mo action here. It might take us a bit, but see if we can, where they started off. That here they go. Start off a little bit. He got pushed by Chewbacca into the back of the 88 car, and that just sent him into a spin. Not much he can really do there.
First caution of the race is out.
It's the first caution of the season. Actually, we haven't been under caution this entire season. Yeah, he gets a good shove from the back, and that just causes him to spin the tires on the start. Throttle control is really important here,
especially for those starts.
And Miles Johnson's still your leader. I believe Rashad Mets is second.
Caution is out in the field. Really early cautions so far, especially, is showing you how good you have to be on these tracks. It's like he already made that. Well, drivers are here running over each other on the start. So, I mean, it seems like these drivers are hungry. Miles, why do you think they're so hungry these races?
I mean, this is one of the easier series to win it in this league. So you see a lot of drivers that are hungry just to cut their teeth in an easy track. And this is a very, as you see, someone went for a spin there under caution. I believe it was Chewbacca, showing some frustrations early. But just a lot of these newcomer drivers, this is an easier track for them to win at and be competitive at. So they just love to come here and race with the best of the best.
Right now, I'm really keeping my eye on Nick this race. I feel like he has a really good car today. I feel like he might be able to make a statement for himself today. I think he might be able to keep his car up front. He might drive up front, and I feel like he's going to be one to watch this race. Who are you keeping your eye on this race?
Almost everyone. Anyone can win this race as we go into the restart zone. Johnson gets a really good launch.
Shot follows behind. Second place. Seems like they're single filing out. They're going to start off the race really relaxed. It's typically not a trend we don't usually see. We usually see already 3 wide action in the field in turn 1.
Ooh, a lot of sliding up action. Look at these cars serpentining down the back stretch. Here comes a push from, push from Jalen Bird with Paganex.
Huge pushes so far. Single file so far this race. Unito trying to work the inside lane, getting some help. 3 wide. Miles Johnson trying to hang it around the outside.
Mets is still your leader so far. And he's going to lead lap 2, I believe. No, Jalen Bird doesn't.
Nope, Jalen Bird takes the lead as they're 2x2 right now going into turn 1. Trevor Lavonne trying to give Rashad Mets a push on the outside lane. Kind of gets pinched sideways a little bit there. See, Jalen Bird is up front. Not something you usually see, but he's up front early this race. I wonder if he's going to try to take control of the field, or if he's just going to try to stay up front now.
Push there. Oh, Paganex trying to find some room in the high groove.
I think he's trying to link up with that Mustang. Those are 2 guys I always watch on these tracks where pushing is everything.
Here they go to the inside, I believe.
Linked up together. He was just looking for that partner.
Oh, Mets breaks him up, though. A little aggression there.
Oh, in the
early
wall.
in the wall. Some drivers there.
I think Nick is going to try to chill out in the back. I think that's his strategy, try to learn how to race with these guys, trying
As
to
we are
dial
all
in
in
his
a
car.
line through the top 5. Oh, Johnson gets shuffled out as well as, or Mets does as well.
What do you think the strategy is going to this race? Do you think these drivers are going to get more aggressive today than they usually
wide
were
now.
any other week? Or you feel like these drivers are going to...
I mean, there's a lot more cars than normal, and there's a lot of those drivers that aren't as experienced as, say, a Miles Johnson Oval or Rashad Mets. So, you know, a lot of these drivers are not as experienced as normal, so they don't really know when, hey, maybe I should hang back now, wait till the end of the race. They just want to go the entire race. So I think there's going to be a lot higher aggression during this race than previous races.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. The trend is starting to show us over there. 3 wide in the back of the pack. Really interesting going on that right now. So you see some single filing on the straights during the shoots, and then they fan out in the corners trying to overtake each other. Multiple cars wide throughout the pack. Looks like a giant traffic jam.
Oh, almost too wide. Here they go in the turn 1. Oh, heavy contact. Oh, Johnson's going to go around. Another wreck, and the caution comes back out.
Gets that car back going.
Let's take another look at what happened here. He was on the inside lane, getting a push from Nick in the 88 car.
I think Nick might got on that apron. Oh
yeah,
no!
Got on the apron, slid up. I mean, you're 4 wide there, and Johnson gets pushed up into, I believe, Paganex and the 99 car, and Jalen Bird is right there at his quarter panel, so which just sends him into a little loose moment there, and then he gets tapped again by Jalen Bird, which causes him to go the rest of the way around.
Jalen Bird was trying to avoid him, but there was no time to really get on the brakes, or no time to really react right now. It's just the drivers are so close together. There's no time for you to correct an error. These cars won't slow down fast enough. Trying to save it, couldn't quite get it saved.
The wheel turned all the way. Which that's one thing that you'll see this race is the closing rate. If you're in second or third, you're going 10 to 15 mile an hour faster than those leaders are. So you got to be really careful not to ram into the back of the car in front of you because you're carrying so much more speed than they are into the turns.
It's just the package that we run.
And that package sure does show up each week. It's some great racing being produced here so far. See, these drivers will be able to keep it going straight. Only 6 laps under our belt. We still got a long ways to go.
We really do. The demeanor of these drivers might change throughout this race, so I don't know how I'm going to really look at it right now. It's too early to call favorites as of right now, but I just know I'm keeping my eye on the number 88 car, because so far he may be making some mistakes early on in the race, but I feel like if he can get that car dialed in by the end of the race, he's going to be able to do something good.
There always could be an underdog winner. You see Paganex is leading the pack right now to the green flag. Jalen Bird could pick up his first win. Chewbacca could pick up his first win. It's a lot of good drivers here that could get their first victory here tonight.
Good restart by both drivers, side by side, going into one. They're trying to make another lane on the outside lane and going to quite get there. Miles Johnson,
almost 4 wide.
Miles Johnson with the undercut. 4 wide sideways.
Coming on the turn. What a save there. Let's take another look at it.
Miles Johnson was trying to get as many spots as he can. He saw those drivers wash up the track. He went to the bottom lane, saw the hole open up.
I think he flipped the apron a little bit. Yeah, you see him go down on the apron a little bit. Getting the Jalen Bird again sideways. Keeps it going straight, though. An excellent save by the 06 car.
Phoenix is still in the lead.
Side by side for second, though. Lavonne stuck out the dry as the bottom lane starting to form up.
These drivers only want to push with somebody they know that can take them to the front. Drivers that have experience here. So I really feel bad for those drivers that aren't as experienced and don't really like racing on ovals as much, because the help is not going to come as easy. They're going to have to really fight for their drafting positions. They're really going to have to show everybody, hey, I'm somebody that you can work with to go to the front of the field.
Oh, we see almost 4 by 4. The pack evenly distributed going down that front stretch. Very spread out as of right now.
Still too wide. Oh, Rashad trying to go for a hole that was not there.
Oh, he gets
goes
shuffled
to
out,
the outside lane.
3 wide.
get some
Or
help
water for a
from
moment,
the
I thought.
88. I think Nick is just sitting in the back of the pack trying to bide some time, trying to learn how to race around these guys, and is really trying to be patient. Don't want to get too much in the mix too early and maybe spin the car around. He just wants to sit there, pick his spots wisely, and make his overtakes smart, just trying to really figure out how to race here.
We've seen a lot of drivers do that in their debut start. I mean, we saw Michael Shoemaker do that a while back. He just kind of hung out in the back in the Hudson Memorial 125, and he made a great run to the front, ended up finishing third, grabbing his first podium. So a lot of these news drivers just like to hang around in the back, figure out their cars, figure out what works for them, and then try to make a push at the end of it.
I really do appreciate about the driver. That really shows true discipline and how hungry these drivers are. Because any driver that's with mediocre talent would take a car they're not very experienced with, don't know how to handle, don't know how to race. It's a new series, new people you're racing with, new cars, and if they just take that little bit of experience and try to go balls to the wall in the race, it's really going to cause problems. Some contact there. I think he got his brakes locked up into the corner, the 88 and Nicholas, but. It's all about being smart these races, trying to bide your time, be smart, make those smart moves, learning is the key to being successful in our league. I feel like if you learn the car, learn the track, learn how to race there, learn everything like that, you can see where your driving style fits in perfectly. So I really feel like these lesser experienced drivers are starting to learn more, especially Ultimate T-Bird as T-Bird is staying in P4 as of right now, typically staying up to the front. Usually chills out in the back, but he's up front this race. So
a lot of contact there, almost four wide.
3 off the exit of turn 1. Rashad getting some help here.
Bird gets some help. He tries to go. He just abandoned some help, which you'll see that a lot out of like these new drivers in the lead. Whoa, almost. A lot of contact there.
A lot of contact.
But these new drivers in the league, they don't really know, hey, if I stick with this drafting partner, they can take me to the front and we can help each other out. They're just trying to go for their own position, so they'll try to make moves by themselves where there isn't any drafting help, and they'll end up losing more positions than gained.
Yep, I really feel like that's detrimental. If that's one thing that you definitely need to learn when you're racing at this track, you got to learn how to draft works. If you don't learn how to draft works, you will not be successful here. So I really feel like drivers like Nicholas, and also drivers Nicholas has an oval racing background, which is great. He's competed in other leagues, so I really feel like he's also somebody to watch, especially on these ovals. But Ultimate T-Bird, he has raced with us at Blue Moon a couple times, but he's learning more and more. So it's just learning about how the draft works, and that's how you be successful at tracks like this. You got to learn how the draft works, how to work with somebody, how long to stick with somebody, and when to give up on them. So once you really figure that out, you got a good, strong foundation to get a nice game plan set up to be successful at this race.
This is some awesome racing. Oh, whoa, heavy contact in the back there.
3-car tandems is what we saw on the outside lane.
See right now, Pigonek's not giving racing right now.
Pigonek's not giving Rashad any room.
Pushed him down the apron. Still no room. Oh, that could have caused a major collision there coming in the turn 2.
Really could have, but that just shows you how important track position is on track. Everybody's trying to defend and block and try to keep every bit of track position they can. I see Peg once again trying to work his way around, work his way to the front. Rashad goes to the inside of Javen Tucker, trying to really work that bottom lane. Can I get some help from Jalen Bird as that outside lane is freight training around because Miles Johnson in that Reese's car, but once again Rashad's getting pinched.
You see just how loose these cars get through turn 2, especially if you're getting pushed. It's really hard to keep that thing as straight as possible if you are getting pushed in turn 2.
Your car either gets, what I've noticed, the cars either get really loose or really tight. You either get loose and you have to try to catch the back end of the racetrack, or they get really tight and you just don't grip in like you want to grip. So it really, it's really interesting to see how these drivers attack that corner, especially in the draft with the multiple changes that happen going into those corners. But you see nice little bit of distance Rashad and Javen Tucker have gained tandeming with each other. Blocked bumpers. Jalen Bird's trying to work his way to the front as well.
Oh,
Side by side.
excellent
Leaning
action
on
here.
him.
This almost
leaning
looks
on
like a super speedway here.
It really does. The amount of cars in this race. It's only 8 cars on track, but it feels like it's 20. I mean, just how many grooves and how many lines these drivers are taking is insane. Right now, I see they're all 3 wide again. They go back to 2 wide racing.
Oh, here goes
3 wide.
Peg
Picking X trying to go to the inside. Is he going to get some help?
3 wide for the lead. Johnson trying to push Mets to the outside. Oh, Bird
And it
tries
does,
to
but-
dive on the apron. Oh, 4 wide there.
Still side by side going through the corner. Rashad puts the block on. X gets a huge run out of the corner, gets some huge help. But X goes to the inside of Rashad, takes the lead, leads that lap.
These
Miles Johnson.
positions are changing so fast, it's almost hard to pick who to look. You don't know what battle to look at because everyone's battling everybody at the same time.
But one thing I've been noticing is that the 88 car of Nicholas has been having some braking issues going into one. You see when he brakes, you see a lot of smoke coming out of from the tires. I think he's locking up going into the hard braking zone of turn 1. I really think that's going to cost him a lot of time, so he might want to try to figure that out, especially before the later stages of this race.
Which one problem about locking up the brakes is when you slide that tire, that tire's only on one side, so you're gonna flat spot that one side of the tire, which can leak into a vibration and a whole lot of handling issues.
That's very true. So you really have to be mindful of that, especially it just shows you how tricky the braking zone of turn 1 is right now. But X still trying to use that pinching method, but here comes that inside, that 4-car line of Javen Tucker, Rashad Mets, Miles Johnson, and Michael Shoemaker all pushing to get first, second, third, and fourth place, fanning out 3 wide.
A lot of drivers make contact with the wall there. You got to be careful when you're carrying so much speed into turn 1. Or turn 3. It's just crazy the amount of speed you can carry in there if you're being pushed.
3 wide going into 1 right now.
Ooh, a lot of contact.
Oh, big contact with the
Almost
88 and
wrecked.
Miles Johnson. So far, there's still multiple cars wide, really trying to work on each other here, trying to settle in. I feel like these drivers are starting to become a little bit more conscious of how close the end of the race is. So I feel like they might try to be a little bit smarter with their moves and kind of calm down until it's really, really go time as the race comes in. So, Miles, when do you think go time is this race? When do you think these drivers are going to be like, you know what, it's time to go to the front? What lap do you think that's going to really kick in for them?
If you're a very experienced driver, you can run your way through the pack in under a lap. You can about a half a lap or about a lap or 2. So I think come 2 or 3 to go, that timer's going to go off in your head and it's going to tell you it's time to make my run to the front, because you don't want to make it too soon, because that risks you making a mistake at the front of the pack and getting sent to the back with not enough time to make another run at it.
I definitely agree with you on that. Just timing that run to the front is very, very important, and I feel like it's really going to show who's the experienced and who is the inexperienced. So right now, as you see right now, the 3 cars in the front right now of X, Miles Johnson, and Rashad Mets have been working with each other all race, and those typically the cars you want to keep separated, because once those 3 lock bumpers, they are really hard to overtake. So I feel like Miles Johnson taking it to X, but right now is he going to get the help? He's not getting any help.
Jalen Bird tries to make a pass by himself with no help. That's going to cause them to lose a lot of time, though, to the leaders.
Here comes Michael Shoemaker into P2 trying to work with Rashad 3 wide.
Under 5
going
to
into
go.
turn 3.
Oh, pushing him in the wall almost. A lot of contact.
Rashad Mets getting some help from Ultimate T-Bird, from Jalen Bird in first place. Single filing out. I think these drivers are starting to calm down, really starting to try to plan out how they're going to get to the front and who they're going to take with them, because I doubt you're going to be able to do it by yourself. So it's almost crunch time. Rashad Mets is in a real comfortable position out front, but here
really
comes
using
P&X
all that
wanting to
apron.
take the lead. Can't
A lot
quite
of
get the
cars
help.
on that outside, though.
88 still falling in the back of the field. Is he going to try to make a run later in the race? I feel like he's planning his time to strike.
We're coming up
With some
on 3
contact
to
there.
go. It's about go time.
I know two drivers that are sitting real good right now. You got Rashad Mets, Pegan X, and Michael Shoemaker sitting up on the podium as of right now, really trying to work together, the three of them, trying to stay up front. I feel like that's going to be the way to go.
Big wreck.
Big slide for Trevor Lavonne and Javen Tucker. Rashad Mets is going to try to defend that inside lane.
If you're leading right now, you may think that you're in a good spot, but that could all change in one turn. You could go from first to last in a split second. So, Rashad, where would you want to be coming to the end of this race? Do you want to be leading, or do you want to be in, say, a second or third spot?
Honestly, I would like to be up front, but also, see, they both have their own pros and cons. Being up front, you can, if you're really good at blocking and taking control of the field, you can stay up front and you can really put the block on these drivers and you can maintain the lead. But if you're like not very good with that, I feel like you want to be in second, third place, because if you're in third place, the first place guy's going to try to block the second, and you can make your run off of that. So I really feel like it's all about your racing, your driving style, and your personal preferences. Go 3 wide, 3 and 4 wide right now. In turn 2.
A lot of bumping and banging. Mets is going to lose the lead there. He loses a lot of spots. Jalen Bird's out front. Coming to the white flag.
Oh, this is still anybody's race. Miles Johnson's still in the mix.
Here's the 88. Lap to go.
The 88 in 4th place makes
in
his
the
run
mix
late
now.
In the race. 3rd place, Nicholas. Didn't lock the brakes up in the 1. I think he's got that car figured out. He's going to try to make a run for the front right now. Falls back into 7th place. Is not what you want to see, but with this track, it's a lot of anything can happen.
Come on, baby.
Really grouping up.
You can do it on this end of the speedway. Go up to the outside and get alongside.
That's where you can make your pass. Whoever you want to work with right now. 4 wide. Who are they going to work with? Really trying to figure it out. Ultimate T-Bird in the lead right now. They're all figuring it out. Rashad's pushing. He's pushing Fenway.
Side by side.
3 wide.
To the line.
T-Bird gets him.
Jalen Bird wins his first career race at Blue Moon Bay Speedway. What a finish.
Multiple cars wide. That was one hell of a race. Jalen Bird finally gets it done. Puts it all together. Gets all the pieces. Each and every race he's been learning, and I feel like he put it together this race and he won. He capitalized on it. Got his first win, his first career win. I'm very proud of him. But can we take a moment to talk about the 88 rookie of Nicholas finishing 2nd place on the podium in his debut race? What is your take on him?
He was having a lot of trouble locking up them brakes throughout the entire race, and no one was really talking about him. He was hanging out in the back, wasn't making that many passes, but this move that he made here at the end of this race shows that he belongs in this league, and he is truly a talented driver that can compete for wins in races and possibly even championships.
That's very true. He's going to be a guy you have to definitely keep your eyes on, especially these ovals. We haven't seen him on a road course yet, but hopefully he'll surprise us tomorrow. But let's talk about this. Rashad Mets finishes 3rd on the podium. He is keeping up that consistent streak that he's been maintaining in both series. So I really feel like he's somebody to look out for. I think after this race, he has taken the points lead of the weekly series. So I really feel like he's a driver to look at. He has been he's the points leader now both series. So one hell of a race, a lot of action happened this race. I really feel like these drivers have a lot to show us continuing through this race. I don't know if these drivers are going to dial down, but Miles, how do you think these drivers are going to take on the next season, the next part of the season as we reach the halfway point? How do you think their mindsets are going to change, their racing styles are going to change? How do you think they're going to take on these new challenges they're going to face?
I mean, you figure only 3 or 4 of these drivers will be able to contend for a championship, since over half of our field is part-time drivers, so they don't have enough points built up to compete for the win. So you're going to see those 3 or 4 drivers that are competing, they may not push as hard for the win, but just try to go for a consistent top 3 finish, because if you try to go for a win and end up wrecking or getting wrecked, then you lost a ton of points to your competitors. But if you do like, say, Rashad Mets is doing, and finish top 3 week in, week out, you may not be winning, but if the consistency is what wins championships.
Yes, that plays a huge factor into the your ability to win a championship. You can't just be a race winner; you have to be consistent. So I feel like you got to put all the pieces together at every track. So I really feel like the thing about these races that it could go anybody's way. It depends on what kind of car you're driving, the driver behind the wheel. So a lot of factors go into it. So I really feel like this is a hell of a race. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's race at the wet rain race at Spa. Not very much grip, a lot of throttle control, a lot of strategy, a lot of different factors are going to affect how you race at that track. So I'm really excited for tomorrow and also the week after that. So we have a lot to look forward to in this series, and I'm super, super excited.
And thank you all for watching, and thank you Rashad Mets for joining me as always in the booth. That was such a fun race to watch. I hope we have a lot more exciting ones like that to come in the future. What a race, what a finish. Congratulations to Jalen Bird for your first career win. Just an awesome night, an awesome Friday night. Gotta love these Friday night races. So much fun to race in this league with everyone. And just make sure to hit a like button on this video, and make sure to subscribe for more full race replays, other content, and follow us on Instagram for point standing update and more. Thank you for watching, and y'all have a great weekend.